Hi everyone, Adrienne Everheart back with you for day 2 of my 3-part video series. This one, I got so many good things to share with you because I'm going to talk about the biggest, most powerful game changer you can give to the man that you love, your ex, so that you can have the best chances, the ABCs, the absolute best chances to get him back in your life. I'm going to share that with you today. Again, this is one of my top secrets I reserve only for my one-on-one coaching calls, but this is something I'm sharing with you, and this is something I'm going to share in my program if you're interested. All right, so the other thing I'm going to be sharing is the #1 secret that your ex doesn't want you to know. Yes, there's a big one. There's a big secret that he doesn't want you to know, and actually it's something that most men don't want us to know. So I'm going to start right there. If you read over my freebie, my little cheat sheet that I had that you get before your videos, I talked a little bit about how most men statistically regret the breakup within 24 hours. So most men regret their breakup within 24 hours. They go home and they have a moment of, oh my goodness, what did I do? But if they turn back around, come back to you, they're going to look crazy. And they're not going to feel like a man at all, are they? So this is why the man hides behind bravado and just really, not wanting to look like an idiot, and he doesn't just come racing right back. Okay, here's the really amazing news, is that this actually gets worse. He'll go through a phase, and again, this is according to statistics where there were studies done and questioned men after breakup. So I didn't do this research, I'm reading someone else's research, that the men will go through a phase where they're actually feeling pretty okay. They're getting their freedom back, they have their own air to breathe, depending on exactly what you were doing in the relationship, wherever the problem might have been. In my last video, I talked about being able to provide and not compete and being able to maintain, and if a man feels like he can't do that, well, when he finally gets on his own, sometimes he's like, I can just sit around in my sweatpants and eat cereal off the coffee table. They feel like they can finally just be a man and relax. So sometimes this happens and the man finally feels free. But then he again goes back to a place where he's like, I'm alone. I have no one. I'm here by myself. Or he might have a girlfriend or two. But it's really just going to be the same set of problems, a new woman. Okay? So one of the best things that can happen to you is your ex immediately go back out and get into a new relationship. All right? Because most new relationships fail. And then he's going to miss you all the more. So don't be too traumatized if that has happened to you. I know it hurts like nothing else. But it is something, just keep your mind open about that. It really does increase your chances for getting him back. I'm going to move on and talk about this really powerful game changer that you can do. Well, I'd like you to talk to me or join the program because it's really powerful, and executing this one properly is imperative to your results. This is not something that you just want to go do. And I'm going to call him up right now and I'm going to do this. All right, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so listen very carefully. A man will feel very powerful when he comes to you and ends the relationship. He'll feel very powerful. And chances are he's having a problem with power anyway. We go back to provide, compete, and maintain. All right, so there's some sort of problem there where he's either competing with you, he's losing his power, he doesn't feel happy, he's not able to provide, he's not able to maintain, he's not feeling like a man. All right, so when he comes back to you, and if for any reason there's any type of reconnection, I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of times a man breaks up with us and he's still texting, he's still calling. They'll do this check-in where they want to say, hey, are you doing okay? And maybe they're tiptoeing through the tulips with that one and just really trying to find an in with you. But usually the woman is mad or usually the woman lies and says, I'm doing great. Everything's going just great and I'm fabulous. And he goes, oh, okay. she's moved on without me. So I want you to, number one, know that I want you to speak from a place of honesty. So if your man is still doing the check-in and he calls in, I want you to be able to be honest with him and be able to say to him, well, what can I say? I feel a little lonely most days. I feel a little sad about us, but I'm doing my best. I'm putting one foot in front of the other and making the most out of every day. So you see how vulnerable, open, and honest that is. There's no fake, I'm doing great, when in fact you're really not. Men know the difference. They'll still buy it and they'll still believe you, but they really can feel the difference when you're being honest with them. All right, so here is the big game changer. And ladies, I do not want you to use this just willy-nilly. This is a powerful move, okay? So this all starts with accepting and being okay with where you're at. You are at the corner of devastated and lonely and heartbroken, all right? So you're at a terrible spot in your life, and we often want to reject that we're feeling this way. We want to somehow deny it, push it down, and make excuses, dream up reasons, try to understand why this is happening to us, why he's done this, why he said these words to me just a few weeks before. How could this be happening? So logical reasoning is not going to get you anywhere with this process. So forget logic. This is about your heart. It's not about your brain. Your brain is a logical thing. It's a piece of machinery that solves problems. Your heart, however, is not much of a problem solver. It's a decider. It just knows how it feels, okay? So if you're feeling heartbroken and lonely, you have to own it like a rock star. You just have to own it. And then something really nice and comforting about that feeling will begin to happen to you, and you're just gonna have to trust me here, when you just really accept responsibility for where you're at. And it's terrible and it's lonely and you're having to start over again, and there's nothing but goofballs out there on the internet dating sites. All right, you're gonna have to boldly and bravely put one foot in front of the other and start over somewhere with your life, because this is gonna make you much more attractive to this man. All right, so here's the big game changer. When he does start coming back around, and trying to text you, trying to communicate with you and stay in touch with you, you have the option to rebuild with him. And this is something I talk about in my program, the ABCs to get him back and keep him, is that any opportunity to rebuild with him, even if he's still following you on Instagram, this is an opportunity to rebuild, all right? We also end up doing something I call the Hail Mary Pass. I go into that in the program more intensely, but I can't do it all right here in this free video. Here's my big question for you. Do you really want to have to do all the work for the man to get him to love you? Do you really want to have to hunt him down, chase him, and convince him to get him to love you and want to be in a relationship with you? Is that how you really want this to go? So the answer in most cases is no. We want the man to do it, but we want to inspire the man to do it. That's the difference, okay? So here is the big line in the sand. But once you do this, you can't go back. So seriously, you can only try this trick once. It's not really a trick, it's more of just a boundary to protect yourself. So I set a timeline, and I teach you this in my program about setting a timeline about when I'm gonna let my man come back, and I'm gonna keep trying until that point. But at that point, I'm going to have to say the following. You know, it feels so wonderful to connect with you, and I've missed connecting with you, yet I'm looking for a loving, long-lasting relationship that leads to marriage, and I don't feel like we're on the same page, so I'm gonna be moving on. Most of the time, the man will say, oh, okay, I get it. You want to be married. I respect that. I respect you now more than ever. And you go, great, I'm going to be moving on. And then he texts you at 7 o'clock at night that night. You don't answer it. You don't answer the next time, and you don't answer the next time. You cut him off. And when he can't get to you anymore, that's when the guy sometimes goes a little crazy, shows up at your door, and goes, why won't you answer my text? Why won't you answer my call? And then that's when you can begin phase 2 of reconnecting. So I am yet to have a situation where I have reconnected a woman and a man together, where they go through the first phase, which is rebuilding, showing him the new you, your feeling statements, your boundaries, your passions, the new you where you're not controlling him, you're not controlling the outcome. And then you have to draw that line in the sand. And you have to say, I'm looking for a loving, long-lasting relationship that leads to marriage. And I'm not feeling like we're on the same page, so I'm going to be moving on. And then you go to phase 2, which is the man will eventually come back around. And when he does, you have to reiterate this. If he comes back around, he knows what the deal is. He knows that you're looking for the real thing, but they will try to have it their way. And that's where you become a high-quality woman in his eyes. This is my boundary. This is what's going to work for me. And you have to be willing to stick to it because you cannot renege on that. All right? And a lot of times you'll tell the man, I'm going to be moving on. And he goes, okay, cool, I get it. And then you're really left moving on. So before you do that, I want you to be ready. All right? And I want you to prep that very important phase 1, which is rebuilding and reconnecting to his heart so deeply that when you do go away, he misses you and realizes that his life was much, much better with you in it. All right, everyone, that is the end of video number 2. I do hope you can participate in my class, the ABCs to get him back and keep him. An email if you're interested. I'm at everheartcoaching@gmail.com. You can just hit reply to this video if you like. But otherwise, I hope to see you soon. And so everyone, wrapping up, and thank you so much for joining me in this free video. Feel free to hit reply and send me an email with any questions you might have. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Mwah. Bye.